Hello, my name is Dorian Barnhart. I'm the 2014 president for the Portland Metropolitan Association of Realtors, and I'm so excited to be here today at Portland's First Citizen Banquet, where we're honoring George Bing Sheldon, someone who's dedicated to furthering the community, the people, providing good works, providing a lasting legacy, and Bing definitely fit the bill for his service and dedication.
I'm Charlie Hales, and I'm the mayor of the city of Portland, and I get to show up for work every day in a beautiful historic building that Bing Sheldon's vision made whole. And every time there are kids in the building, I tell them about how terrible it used to be with the paneling in the dark conference rooms where those beautiful light courts are now, and I celebrate Bing's work to the next generation of Portlanders. That's his legacy, and that's why we're so proud of this man.
Bing, it's an honor to be here today. We've worked together since 1976. And over those years, I don't remember a time when we were a year or two away from working on something together. We've tackled so many projects that have made such a difference in this community. And what's been wonderful about you and so exciting is there are lots of architects, and there are lots of creative architects. But you have a way of coming back with solutions that are totally outside that proverbial box. And it is so exciting intellectually, let alone in terms of the planning process, to have seen the things you've done both on projects we've worked with, on projects for others. Montgomery Park, the way you cut out that interior and looked at that when we couldn't figure out what to do with that project. The McCormick Pier project, when we had tied that up and then we dropped it and you figured out with Bill Nato how to develop that. When we worked together on the Robeson home and created the Harsch Schnitzer Manor together. We're working now on Centennial Mills. Just being around you brings out the best in me and everyone else around us together. So it's been a true pleasure to know you and work with you. And what I'll never forget is when I first met you and heard about your history, after you finished at Harvard and you went back to Denmark and you worked for a furniture manufacturer. The artist in you has never left you. Each project that you take on is no different than when you were crafting a piece of furniture. Every architecture project has not only the technical expertise, but the hand of the artist shaping and forming the city. And your legacy, decades from now, and people won't remember your name and the role you had in projects when you started restoring Victorians in Northwest, the Northwest Service Center, all the things you've done. If those of us that have known you and respected you, the memory of working with you and the memory of things you've done will go on forever. You've touched so many lives, and there are more lives to still touch. And I look forward to working with you for years into the future. Best regards and congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Bing, I'm your old friend Arlene Schnitzer, and you and I have worked together on a lot of community projects, but most particularly our Harsch headquarters up on 12th and Salmon. And it was so much fun working with you. You were one of the really rare professional architects that understood when somebody talks with their hands what I was really saying about the atmosphere and the ambiance that we wanted for our Harsch headquarters. So I will always appreciate you for the person that you are, the person you've become, and the person you're going to be, because there's always room for growth in somebody like you who's intelligent and kind and wonderful and brilliant, and who I've long been so fortunate to consider my friend. And Harold enjoyed working with you so much too, and you've just been a wonderful, wonderful asset to our community, and I wish you nothing but great joy and happiness in this great city of ours. Thanks, Bing.
Well, I am Bing Sheldon, a former principal of SERA Architects, and now retired, trying my best to create more trouble in lovely Portland. First Citizens Award has a long, distinguished history. It was started in 1928 by the Portland Metropolitan Associated Realtors, and it is intent on focusing on people who probably live up to the legend and the inscription on the bottom of the Skidmore fountain, which says, the riches of a city are its citizens. The awards almost always are people who have made important civic contributions at every level. In my case, I was told that the two issues that they believed were significant was my early involvement in downtown planning when Portland's current livability brand was really begun. And that was under the auspices of the downtown plan created in the 70s. And at the same time, I co-founded with a whole group of other people an organization which is today called Central City Concern, which treats alcoholic and homeless people. Initially, it was to give them sort of temporary housing, but today it's a completely integrated service which houses them permanently, provides health care at every dimension, job training, case handling, peer review, with a goal of taking people who have been essentially given up on life and get them back so they have their self-esteem and out into the workforce so they become productive citizens. These two considerations were, I think, what led to my nomination.
When I think of Bing Sheldon and all the hard work that's involved, I think of someone who did all that hard work with a sense of grace, intelligence, and thoughtfulness that is rare to see in someone who goes to so many meetings. I don't know how he maintained it, but he always had that sense.
George Bing Sheldon, on behalf of the Portland Metropolitan Association of Realtors, I present you with this 2014 Portland First Citizen Award Medallion, with the sincere appreciation of the people of Portland for your service and dedication to our community. Thank you.
I'm deeply honored, obviously, to be Portland's first citizen. I could never realistically have imagined myself being up here, even though I've known many of the other honorees. And as you all now know, it was endless meetings that probably got me up here. So I have to acknowledge and give special thanks to my wife, Carolyn, my sons, Jonathan and Graham, my daughter, Lori, and son-in-law, Stephen, and of course, our two grandchildren, Allie and Lizzie, who are here today. Don Eggleston and Christine Garrick, my former partners and associates at SERA Architects, where I obviously have spent 40-some years working with them. I think I'm deeply honored that they have been part of my team. And to Hardy Myers, who was also on the Planning Commission when we did the downtown plan, and a founding board member of Central City Concern. And to Ernie Bonner, who, for those of you in the room, if any of you remember him, was the planning director for the city during the downtown plan, a man who was driven to help us achieve the visionary result we did. And to Harsch Schnitzer. He is a gentleman who I think first got to know when they used to have their offices on 18th Street. And he would come to early meetings of the Northwest District Association Planning Group so he could understand better how we thought of the world that he had wanted to work within. And I think to this day, I'll never forget, he always brought his peanut butter sandwich. And for Pete Mark, who always reminded me to respect other people's time, and you heard from Don, I was not very good at that, but I think he made me better. So I I think people would now agree I've learned to show up on time. And Alan Weber, who was really the visionary policy director for the city, who drove through the mayor's office the plan and I think sustained it politically. And to Sam and Bill Nadeau for their love of the city, their visionary efforts to redevelop the city, and to my special relationship with them. And of course to the Portland Metropolitan Association of Realtors, who initiated the program and still support it. And to all of you who took time out of your valuable day to come here, and I sincerely appreciate that. So as you have heard, when we arrived in '64, not only were we struck by how small this place was, but more importantly, we discovered quickly that people cared about Portland in a way that we were unused to, having grown up in the East Coast. And as a result, they were engaged at every level, they were proud of its livability, and they remained active through engagement and citizen pride. And as a result, we were able to maintain walkable pedestrian scale and the early streetcar residential neighborhoods, and have been shaped into a vibrant and hospitable city despite growth. So why is this important to our future? Well, Ethan mentioned Jane Jacobs. Her book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, which was published in 1961 and I read, was a great inspiration to me. Her wisdom profoundly affected my thinking about how cities can work best for their citizens. Cities either change for the better or for the worse, but they always change. Lively and diverse and intense cities contain the seeds of their own regeneration. The good news is that for the first time in memory, cities are where both retirees and young people want to live. And that gives us an opportunity to build on Portland's reputation for livability, for what we might want to do next. So today I'd like to declare Portland's What's Next moment. So in the 70s, we did the downtown plan, and we challenged conventional wisdom. We tried to build upon what we like best about Portland and make it the best we could imagine. We revitalized a dying downtown, reclaimed access to the river, and committed ourselves to clean air and transit. And as you all know, today we are the envy of many American cities. So then, how do we continue this success and go beyond being the great livable city we are? How do we convince the young people who are attracted to this city to stay here and become committed citizens, build businesses, and raise families? Retaining these young people is critical for our future. So what will be the incentive for them, the future riches of our city, to stay and become that future? I believe it is families, people who make a commitment to another person, who put down roots in their neighborhood, who are the glue that holds a healthy city together. But the biggest issues confronting our city and society today are fixing public education and reversing the shrinking middle class. So I suggest one idea that might address both of those issues and propel Portland to its next moment. And it is to create and fund free, high-quality early education and development services. A growing body of research points to the importance of early childhood development and its positive effect on later academic and social progress. Business leaders also agree and argue the benefits are not just long-term, but immediate. Preschool creates jobs, it allows low-income parents to work, it reduces the number of children in high-priced special education programs, and it helps children from repeating grades. So if we truly believe that intellectual capital is the basis of our economic future, Portland must find the leadership to get our children to the head of their class. As David Sorensen has observed, do we as Oregonians really want to be a state with higher expectations for grapes than our kids? And I say no. So, Portland, let's make it happen.
Congratulations, Father, on an award that's very well deserved. I know you've done amazing things for the city, and growing up here, I certainly appreciate that. And I know a lot of the people here at this function acknowledge it. And even the people who don't really understand or know your impact in Portland really do appreciate that you've created an amazing city here. So thank you.
Congratulations, Bing Sheldon, what you brought not only to the city, but you brought this lovely lady into my life. For that, I thank you very much. And congratulations for all your work in the city, and a great father, grandfather, husband, and we wish you many more years of doing even more, which I know you'll do. People just don't quite know yet.
This is really a very exciting event and well-deserved. I'm very proud of you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Action.
Congratulations, Grandma. Grandpa, sorry.